It was a racist European project.
Israel is often referred as the only democracy in Middle East. How do you...
I think it's a myth.
But always has been a myth?
Always been a myth. That's very easy to show. Year of the foundation. In 1960s, the Palestinian population of Israel, the Palestinian citizens of Israel, although they had the right to vote, and I'm sure people in Brazil know what military rule means, when the army can do whatever it wants with you, with your life, with your job, can even kick you out. So that was not a democracy. A democracy that imposes military rule on 20% of its own citizens just because of who they are is not a democracy. After 1967, Israel turned millions of Palestinians in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip into citizenless citizens. People who had no right to vote, no right to be elected, totally at the mercy of the military and the secret service. And eventually Israel built an apartheid system in the West Bank. There were roads Palestinians until today are not allowed to use. They lost their land to Jewish settlements that harassed them, and they are imprisoned without trial, thousands and thousands. Every fourth person in the West Bank went through administrative detention, which means you are brought to the jail, you don't know what for, and you're released after a year or two, and you still don't know why you were sitting in jail. This is just a form of intimidation and oppression. A country that does this is not a democracy. But also inside Israel, although the military rule ended for the Palestinian citizens of Israel, they still are second-rate citizens. They are discriminated. First of all, the most important one, discrimination, they're not allowed to discriminate Palestinian citizens, is that they do not serve in the army, and therefore they're not entitled to all the rights, because they don't fulfill all the duties. But Israel doesn't want the Palestinians to all the rights. So it's very clearly a racist idea. No, Israel is not. I think, I just would add one more sentence. Israel controls different groups of Palestinians with different systems. And I remember when Desmond Tutu came to compare it, he compared it to apartheid. So to be honest, he said the Palestinians inside Israel suffer from apartheid, but it is not as bad as the apartheid we suffered. But the Palestinians who live in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip suffer from an apartheid which is much worse than the apartheid there was in South Africa. And I think that gives, the fact that you can vote and be voted doesn't mean that you are not discriminated against. There is a very interesting way that Israel, at least Israel until 2022, I think this current government will eventually not allow Palestinians to vote. This is going to happen, I'm quite sure. But it was a game. It was a game by saying, we allow them to vote and we allow them to be elected, but we don't allow them to be in the Committee of Foreign Affairs. We don't allow them to be in the Committee for Defense Affairs. We don't do political alliance with them. So they are in the parliament, but they have no real say in Israeli politics. I believe that they are there because it serves Israel to try and show.
Is Israel an ethnic democracy?
Yes, it is a democracy was a democracy for the Jews.
Not anymore.
I think that I have to wait, I'm an historian, but it is also stopping being a democracy for the Jews. It was I'll give you, and I think people know about it. It does not recognize the Supreme Court, and it changes all the law in fact, it changes all the democratic. So my prediction is, the next few years there will be less and less for Jews, not all for Palestinians.